Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit of the WoW podcast, Blue Please on CynicalBrit.com. Welcome back to Azshara. It's been a while, hasn't it? Do you remember what we were doing? Well, we were tasked with blowing up some Naga, but you know what? I've got a better idea. So I've got to take an armed Azurite core to Bilgewater Harbour. Now, I've only ever been here once, and that was in the Twilight Highlands Horde intro. So, yes, there are actually an awful lot of quests over there. In fact, that is the common theme of Azshara. This place is covered in bloody quests everywhere you go. And by the looks of it, you don't have to do all of them. So, I would think that this would be nice for those of you who just like exploring, because there's so many quest hubs all over the bloody place. Bilgewater is a fairly major one. Get your little flying machine over here. Take us over there, have a little tour of the sea mines, yes indeed. And to your right, you see some explosive death. And to your left, oh yes, that's also explosive death. Why am I not surprised? It is the Goblins. Their fantastic railgun. Now you can pick some stuff up in Bilgewater Harbour, and there is one quest in particular that I'm interested in kicking off, because it starts a quest chain that is supposedly very, very good. We're not going to get that finished today because this is a relatively short Goblin video. I say relatively, some of them have been like 40 minutes long with editing. But hey, there you go. You're just going to have to deal with it. Bilgewater Harbour, covered in quests. Pick the ones you want to do. Right, we've got this to gut a fish thing. We're going to ignore that for the time being. That's actually over the other side. So if you end up taking that flight, then you end up all the way over here, which is a bit of a pain. And you can't get to where you need to go rapidly. So we're just going to ignore that, and looks fairly boring anyway. Go kill some Naga. / care. What else do we have? Well, we've got to deliver this core. Now, this is relevant, folks. If you have watched Jesse Cox's videos, or if you have watched my tour of the Stone Talon Mountains, pay attention to what he's about to say. It's the big one. Yes. Eventually, if I get around to it, we will do some Stone Talon, but that is relevant. It's relevant to something that happens in Stone Talon. If you don't know, I don't want to spoil it because it's a fairly major plot point. But it's nice that it's all tied together like that. I really love that. I like the fact that I even got the reference without actually going into the zone. It's good stuff. Those goblins are up to something, no doubt about that. Now, Teemo. Wait a second. You better not be hiding any mushrooms around here. I need to speak to Calkk. Who is Calkk? Wait a second, that sounds familiar. Calkk. Huh. Azshara Blues. Calkk. I wonder. Well, those of you really into the lore will know about this guy. It's Calkk. And I don't know how you pronounce that. Calagos, whatever. He was in a novel, he's been in a comic and a manga, and I believe he's also been in Wrath of the Lich King. Oh, hi. That's a nice poster. I'd have that on my wall, actually, as it happens, although it should have a troll. We do have an equivalent for that. He won the Cynical Brit poster contest. Check out my site to have a look at it. It's very, very good. Operation Fishgut. Well, we'll deal with that later. Anyway, back to this blue dragon dude. So, this guy is a blue dragon in disguise. He was in Wrath. He is involved in Quell Danar forging, I believe. And, like I say, he's part of novels and manga and stuff like that. Part of the Blue Dragon flight. And he's hiding under here. Kill Jaden? Okay. Right, we get the idea. Yeah. Give me money, quests, items, whatever. Now, this is the kickoff for the Azuragus quest line. And yes, Azuragus is still alive. Somehow. I'm fairly sure I killed him. I'm fairly sure I have his stuff. But hey, there you go. Question not. Now, he does give you a nice water walking buff, and you will need it, because this quest has a ton of running. Look at how far that is away, so you've got to go all the way across there. I think we should probably accelerate at this point. Anyway, Bilgewater Harbour is a nice little hub, and you're going to find a lot of very useful stuff here. There's trainers, there's quest givers, more trainers, big gun thing. I assume there's got to be a flight point there, but I wasn't looking for it. Might want to avoid the sea mines, even though they actually don't do anything at all. kind of unfortunate. Be nice if they instantly killed you. What can I say? I'm a bit of a masochist. I play Demon's Souls and enjoy it. Now, it would be nice if this buff was more than 5 minutes long, because as it turns out, you're going to have to do an awful lot more of this. A lot of running around. Also, mud crabs. Disgusting creatures. So, the quest giver should be just around... what? I see. You really want me to serve this thing? Seriously. Friends do indeed come in all colours. And they're slimy and they smell. 3 quests. Are any of them any good? It was given by a Murloc. What do you think? He wants a little pick-me-up. Which is either drugs or coffee. Or possibly coffee drugs. Drugs and coffee, it's all the same thing. You know how it goes. And you are absorbent. You are indeed the sham wow. Okay. Kill mud crabs, for they are disgusting creatures. Get plants. Beans. And absorb little water elementals. I am a goblin sponge. As to how I am a goblin sponge, nobody knows. Murloc has strange powers. The mud crabs, on the other hand, do not. Their power is to annoy me and to waste my time. I shall use Blade Flurry. I shall be overpowered at this level. There we go. Yes, thank you for the double echo. Now, as you will notice, we are heading over to those islands, and we'll kill some mud crabs on the way. Those little water elementals in the left-hand side of the screen there, you just walk near them, and you will suck them in. However, as it turns out, there are not enough on that one island, which is a tad irritating. So you're going to have to run across to some other islands, and this area is quite big. And I do not have a mount yet, not that it would really help with all the water. And my water walking debuff is about to run out. So, Blizzard, can I make a small request? Could you extend that buff to 15 minutes? Then we can complete all these dumb quests while we're here. That'll be really nice. Less swimming. Now, for some reason, this one bugged out, but there we go. All you need to do is run next to them, and you will suck them in. You know, it's a shame they couldn't have invented something like this for Ragnaros. That would have been fairly awesome. Oh no, Ragnaros has risen. It's okay, I have the Goblin Sponge. We'll suck him in. Done. Okay, world saved. It's all good. Would have saved me a lot of time in Molten Core, that I can tell you. Ugh. Right. You gotta get 20 of these. There's only about 10 on this island. Well, 9. Fairly annoying. You gotta go all the way over there. I mean, that's actually quite a distance. This is all of the little islands that make up the Horde logo, all of this terraforming that was done by the goblins. And I hate them for it, because it takes bloody ages. So I don't think we really need to see any more of that. Thankfully, the magical quest hand-in interface is coming to the rescue. Now, the sea sponge that we've used, I somehow don't think that actually works. It's absorbed, and now we can use it to summon a jumbo elemental, also known as this dude. We have to kill him and obtain a globe of boiling water, which sounds very uncomfortable, dangerous, and is going to cause a risk of scalding. Does the Murloc care? No, the Murloc cares not for your petty mortal concerns. Swim to the phallic tower and get me my globe. Oh, the time, the time. Why can't I have my water walking? Why, please? Now, you gotta find the summoning stone. And he's like, where is the summoning stone? Well, it's the stone that looks like a summoning stone. Like, oh, I don't know, that one? There you go. It's not that hard, is it? Use the engorge to her sponge. There we go. I am not, in fact, the walking sponge. I just have a Shari sea sponge. There we go. That was less than challenging. Yeah, really? Okay. And yes, I get a curse. Oh, very unpleasant. Don't need to worry too much about that. Now we've got to get all the way back over there, collect the rest of the beans, and kill the rest of the mud crabs. Here's the thing. right? The beans are less common than the mud crabs, which means that collecting 10 beans takes an awful lot longer than collecting 10 mud crabs. I say collecting, like bounty hunting. Collect me and bring me their heads! Yeah, it's not so great. I've mentioned this before in the Goblin starting zone. There were a few issues on the Lost Isles in this regard, whereby they seem to have underestimated, or indeed misjudged, the timing of things. If you're doing quests in threes, what you want to do is make sure that you can sort of complete them all around the same time. And in the case of these beans, they seem way less common than the mobs. So I would give a little bit of feedback and suggest that maybe they need to reduce the number of beans you need here, because you can kill 10 of these mud crabs in a couple of minutes, whereas finding the beans takes you more like 5 or 6, because they seem to be very scattered and easy to miss. I've skipped the rest of the nonsense, and I return to Urgle with his wonderful gifts, and I hate you with every fibre of my being. Oh yes, they smell absolutely delicious, don't they? Ah. Yes, thank you, Urgle. I really don't care. Please just point me in the right direction. As to why I've been pointed in the direction of Murloc, I really cannot imagine. No wonder Azshara is not doing all that well if this is one of his major minions, perhaps one of his lieutenants. The funny thing is, if you read the quest text, it actually says it's one of his unique friends. Azshara doesn't make many friends. Really? I can't imagine why. Ugh. Big blue stompy dragon that always dropped a bunch of useless loot. I don't want another typhoon! Now that he's been caffeinated, we can hopefully get some sense out of him. So apparently, Archmage Xylem is involved in some way. Interesting. You might remember this guy. He was up in the big tower. Okay, random turtle, I see. Fair enough. Now, Xylem has a number of apprentices, let's just say, that didn't quite make the cut. They were a little bit burned out from the Mage stuff. So we're going to speak to one of them and see what we can find out. And perhaps infiltrate his coven. Is it a coven if it's mages? I don't know. Perhaps it's a council, a group, a flock of mages, a murder of mages. Yeah, I like that, a murder of mages, that's good. That cannot be very comfortable, really. And more to the point, why did they give me a turtle? Can I just not have a flying mount, really? This takes far too long. So, I appreciate that it's trying its best, but this is not remotely comfortable. In fact, I think I'm going to ache for weeks. It's a nice view over the bay, though, isn't it? Until you see the sea mines and the industrial pollution and the giant railgun. I can appreciate the giant railgun, though. I like this, though. This is great. That's actually a really cool animation. I've never seen that before. I guess it probably already exists, because you've got that sea turtle mount, but I've never seen it. So I like that very much. But yeah, that's a neat. But it does take you around the bloody world. Oh, look at it. Rather indirect way of doing things. I assume it does it on purpose to avoid taking you past areas you're going to go into later at the northern end of Azshara. That would be my explanation for it anyway. Either that or Blizzard just likes really long flight paths. This is Gurgle, the tracking turtle. The tracking turtle? I'm not going to question the might of the caffeinated blue Murloc, honestly. One of Azshara's friends. I wonder who else Azshara is friends with. Because that's probably the least weird. I hope it's the least weird, because that's going to be highly entertaining. Oh, yes. I still haven't fixed that ship, by the way. Taking all the bloody rivets out of it. Goblin bastards. They are absolutely ruining the war efforts of the Horde. I tell you we shouldn't have invited them. The only thing they're good for is blowing themselves up, not the enemy. Okay, well, Naga fear Gurgle, the tracking turtle. You don't have to worry too much about them. This will take us all the way over to the Rocket Way, which I actually haven't used yet, have I? It's odd, isn't it? Like, hey, you've got this great method of travel, and we're deliberately going to make sure you don't get to use it in any of your quests. I'm sure it's going to happen later, but right now I've only had to visit various areas of it just to say hi. Don't get to ride the rocket, oh no. I'm too much of a plebeian for that. Okay. We're very close, guys. Honest. Cue lots of foliage that makes my video go all blurry. Ugh. High complexity scenes, folks. It's difficult when dealing with lossy video. But hey, there you go. Still working on my codec. Had someone recommend X264 as opposed to H264. Different kind of encoder. I might have a look into that when I get the chance. See if I can improve the quality a bit more than what we've already got. Ah, a burned out blood elf. I'm sure you will. Now, he's all washed out by the looks of it. However, I can put on my robe and wizard's hat and speak to the image of Archmage Xylem. Not Archmage Vargoth. You know what? Archmage Vargoth needs a comeback. I bet none of you Wrath idiots even remember him. Oh, he was so awesome. Speaking of awesome, this hat. I hope we get to keep this, because the Worgen get that great top hat, and this would... It doesn't quite compensate, but it's close enough. I bet we're going to lose it. Bloody quest item. Okay, so you've got to head over here, up to the top, speak to Archmage Xylem, and it'll unlock a bunch of different quests with his various apprentices. Apprentices? Apprentices? I don't know. What is the plural of apprentice? How often do you hear it? More to the point. Now, you don't go up this way. There is one way up. You go all the way around the side, and then you go up and follow the nice little trail of torches. Now, you've got to bear in mind that the power of a mage and a wizard is determined entirely by the pointiness of his hat and how large a knob he has on the end of his staff. Your hat is not as good as mine. It's faded. Mine is a deep purple. Ain't nobody gonna take it. It is a great outfit, isn't it? Not so keen on yours, admittedly. See, he's confused as well. It's not just my fault. Now, when we come back, we're going to do some of this stuff, and we're going to continue the Azshara questline because it looks fairly entertaining. My name's been TotalBiscuit, and this has been Hiyoutube, who's put on her robe and wizard's hat for this occasion. Don't get any ideas. I'll see you next time.